ready? Wait,
Are you ready?
wait.
Are you ready for this?
No, I'm ready.
And that's why we drink.
Hi, everyone,
Hey, everybody.
and welcome to Calm as a Witch.
I'm Carmel.
I'm Mark, and this is episode...
Season 1, episode 9. The Witch is back.
Ooh.
We hope you enjoyed the last episode, which was a couple of weeks ago. I'm so sorry. I was so poorly last week. Mark can vouch.
Yeah, you pulled through.
Barely. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed the last episode, which was The Truth is Out There and It Hurts.
I really enjoyed that episode.
And it was nothing to do with aliens.
No, I mean our podcast. I've listened to it back. And if you're on the Facebook page, if you're following us on there, you'll probably see I've uploaded a few clips from there, from that episode. And there's still a few more to upload, a few more clips.
So when we recorded that episode, we recorded over 2.5 hours worth of stuff. So I broke it up, and the bits that I found funny and entertaining, I was like, oh, we could do little clips and snippets out of that. So I've left bits in the podcast, but I've edited most of it. So you have to listen to the clips.
Yeah. Some of the more bite-sized clips that we think people can listen to outside of the main podcast. We've been clipping those and uploading them to YouTube, put them on the Facebook page, that kind of thing. So
Yeah, we've got a 3-minute one coming up, haven't we?
yeah,
We can't edit that. It's too funny.
it is. Yeah, well, I'll probably be editing that over the weekend, I think. Episode 9. Let's go.
Okay, so The Witch is back, episode 9. Your prediction, your premonition last week was that
I had a couple.
an evil witch came back.
I had a couple just based on the title. The first was that I thought that somehow, an evil witch would come from the past, maybe from like the times of Salem or that kind of thing. Or I thought maybe Aviva.
Aviva would come back.
I thought she'd come back, but I kind of ruled that one out because she's been gone like 3 episodes. And I thought maybe it'd be a bit too soon to bring her back.
Okay. So let's get into the episode. So we start off with a old scene, and it's Salem, Massachusetts, 1692. I really want to go Salem.
I do. Because it's so famous with witchcraft and stuff. I know there's a couple of witchcraft museums and that kind of thing there, but I feel like it's one of those places that you would go and visit.
I'd have to go at this time of year.
Yeah, but I feel like it's one of those places where you'd go visit, and because it's modern day and we're so used to seeing it in films and stuff set back in the witchy times.
Oh no, I've seen pictures, babe, of modern day, and I still want to go.
If it's anything like, Mardi Gras or something like that, with a big festival or, lots of...
They keep the, do you know, like in town, you've still got little parts of old-fashioned brick roads and the old-fashioned houses. They keep that in Salem.
Yeah, which is really
But I
strange.
think they turn them into museums.
Yeah.
Like we have, really.
Yeah. It's really strange when you think about it, because the thing Salem is most famous for is the witch trials, where people were put to death.
But witches go back. It's amazing.
Oh, everyone goes back, but I think it's quite a dark thing to be remembered for and to celebrate and to have themed museums about and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like having the because we're from Nottingham, so it's like having the Nottingham Shanking Gallery or something.
What the fuck?
It is. Like,
Oh no, because we've got the Galleries of Justice, haven't we? Which is kind of
it's a court.
medieval court.
Well, yeah, kind of. But it's like
Haunted.
if you're going to take one of the dark things that you're famous for, as is getting stabbed in an alley, that's...
Stab Central.
It's not. It's Robin Hood, but I think
It's Robin Hood, and we used to be called Snottingham.
Yeah, but I think the knife crime has kind of overtook all of...
Oh no.
Especially the area we live.
Yeah.
But anyway, Salem, Massachusetts.
So we see a gentleman in is it
Medieval garb.
1st century? Are they in the 1st century?
I didn't catch the subtitle.
1692. Not in the 20th century.
That'd be the 16th century.
16th century attire. We found out he's called Matthew, and a woman who is also dressed in 60s attire. I love that kind of dress.
I feel like it would be a fucking nightmare to keep on. To like no, I mean it's like getting dressed because it's all like layer upon layer upon layer. Because I know it was really cold back then, but I can't imagine having to do like undergarments, then socks, then a middle part, then a jacket, then cloak over the top. It'd get to the point where I'd be like, no.
We kind of do that now. Undergarments, bra,
Yeah, maybe,
top,
but they all seem to be like
top over the top.
roped on or lots of strings and, you know, that kind of thing. No zips or just like something you throw over the top of you. It's all like buttons and lace and stuff like that.
Shut moaning. Anyway, so the woman's basically saying, how could you do this to me? I'm stuck in here without my powers. You know they're going to burn me. And she's like, why did you do this? And he's like, well, I had to protect myself. And I can't let anyone find out who I actually am. And she's like, who are you? And he doesn't answer. He kind of backtracks a bit. So she's basically going to get burned at the stake. And she throws a locket back at him. And she says, wasn't anything real? Was our passion not real? And he says, well, I had to pretend everything. And he picks up the locket and he opens it. And he goes, it's fine, I'll find another witch to give this to. And he takes a petal out and it blows up in flames. And he's like, what kind of witchcraft is this? Bitch, she's a witch. Like, did you just think she had powers, no spells or anything? Like, Jesus, get with the times. And she says, I'm taking back my power. I'm taking back what's mine. So she says a spell, outside of time, outside of gain, know only sorrow, know only pain.
Savage.
And she's like, you'll be trapped in that locket for centuries. And then the dick gets sucked into the locket.
Get soaked.
I think we have different meanings of that kind of thing as well, babe. I'm going to say it like that. Again, read Akatar. Not the first book, that's not great. The last book, mwah, chef's kiss. The next scene, we're at Buckland's, and Rex is lining up some jewellery on Prue's desk, and he takes a locket off the display thing and tries to open it, and he can't open it. And then he hears the door, so quickly puts it back. And then he says to Prue that I've got some items for you to catalogue. And she's like, yeah, okay, I'll get round to it. And he walks out. As soon as he walks out, Prue's curious when she sees this locket and she opens it.
So what comes after this is all Prue's fault.
Yeah. Well, it's not, it's Rex's fault. He put temptation in the way. It's like putting a sweet in front of a kid and saying, don't eat the sweet because it will send you on hyper and you'll piss everybody off. And then you walk away and you expect the kid not to touch that sweet. It's your fault, not the kid's fault, okay? Matthew comes out the locket and basically says to Prue that as soon as he's opened the locket, you must be a descendant of Melinda Warren. Does that name ring a bell, babe?
Yes.
Yes. From where?
From one scene ago in the 1066, or whatever the fuck it was, 1620.
92.
That's two ending.
So you can't remember it from anywhere else?
What, from Charmed?
Mm-hmm.
No.
From the first episode where Phoebe's sat on the steps with Piper and says, our ancestor Melinda Warren is the first witch.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
So we know who Melinda Warren is. She's the descendant. Sorry, the three girls are descendants of her, and all witches are descendants of them.
No.
Well, not all witches, but she was the first.
Off the olive line.
Mm.
Yes.
Does he say there and then that he wants their powers?
Well, no, first Prue sends him flying. And he says that he's after the powers and he throws a chair at Prue and Prue's backed up against a wall and she can't move. And then he moves from like one place to another and he says, and she's like, how do you do that? And he goes, well, we can't share powers. I can share yours, but you can't share mine. Then he says, I want all three powers, and grabs her and says, freeze the time. And she's like, I can't. And goes, so there's more of you. And then he smashes the window with the powers he stole from Prue. copied off Prue and jumped out of the window that is what, about
Hella high up with like 11 floors.
11 floors.
I think they mentioned 11 floors, yeah. And he lands on his feet just fine. And
Cat.
yeah, and
It's got hot cat in them apparently.
everyone around him is just like, we've seen David Blaine at this point, so this isn't entirely like shocking to us. And he walks over.
David Blaine come out?
I don't know, but he walks over, and I don't know how they did things back in the 1600s, but this is just fucking rude. He goes over and steals a guy's like bagel or a bit of bread.
It looked like a cheese twist. You'd have gone fucking mental if he saw your cheese twist.
Professor Snape looking ass like jumps out the sky like Rey Mysterio, grabs your fucking cheese twist, and walks off.
And does not look impressed when he's eating it either.
No, he's like, what the fuck is this? But I will say one thing. So he's come from the 1600s. I know he's magical, right? But I'm guessing coming to the present day is not something he does very often or has ever done. He's just jumped off something that will be the highest point he's ever been.
I mean, he's not scared at all, is he?
He's not scared. He's not shocked at the fact there's so many people around him, because a city wouldn't have existed back then either. So he's seen all these tall buildings and whatnot. He's not shocked by the amount of people, and he's not shocked that they're all like ripe with disease and stuff like that. And you know, they actually look quite healthy. And he goes over and just steals a guy's cheese twist or bagel or whatever it is, and rather than going, you know, Gadzooks, what is this magic pastry? He's just like, and walks off. Like, he's not scared of the big steel donkeys that everyone's driving around, or the big tall buildings, or
it's crazy because he's not as impressed with the world as what Melinda is later.
Well, the reason that I bring this up, because you could just say, well, obviously he's very cocksure of himself. He wouldn't be scared of a car, or, you know, how high he's just jumped off a thing and that. There are things he does later that suggest he's quite shocked by this new world that he's in. So to me, it's kind of like, we'll talk about it when you get to it, but it's strange to me that he's, you know, you take a caveman pretty much, dump him in modern day, and he's like, yeah, building is fine. High up, fine. Amazon people, fine. But holy fuck, a can of Coke. You know what I mean? It's like, but yeah, strange man in a strange place. Can I ask, is he, right, because I don't think they ever answer this, is he a warlock or is he a person?
They did answer it.
Did they? What did they say?
They've said it so much through this episode.
What is he then?
A warlock.
So he is a warlock?
Yeah.
How come a witch has got her the warlock then?
She didn't know he's a warlock. That was the point. He was passionate with her and faked the passion, so she never found out who he actually was.
Well, this is the other thing that makes me kind of like, what the fuck? Because most of the time, the warlocks that we've seen have been quite smart. They've been like masterminds, you know, pulling all the strings behind the scenes or whatever, and they trick you and all that stuff. He pops up in this new world, and although at the beginning he's like cocksure of himself and that, like things do happen to him later that catch him by surprise and stuff in this strange new world, which is why I thought, is he just a person? Is he just a guy who somehow believes in magic and knows how to take magic? He doesn't come across, I'll be honest with you, later on he's not very impressive. Not really.
The thing is, you should have known he was a warlock because he had the same powers that Jeremy had, which was steal witches' powers. But Jeremy stole witches' powers, whereas Matthew copies witches' powers.
Yeah.
So the witch gets to keep their power.
Yeah, but he had a power already when he got...
Yeah, because he must have copied that off other witches.
Yeah.
Melinda says later on that she only stripped him of her own powers. She doesn't know what he got before that.
I mean, the powers that he already had were pretty cool. I think they're probably better than Phoebe's, to be honest. His ability to like teleport around and stuff is pretty cool. You gotta admit. I'd prefer that to Phoebe's like, yeah, I'm gonna find out you're gonna fall down tomorrow, and this that's not great. I know for the plot it makes sense, but it kind of reminds me, did you ever see Captain Planet, the TV show?
Vaguely.
So the kids, there's like 5 kids and they've all got a power ring that gives them powers, and one's got like the power of fire, one's got like the power of sea, one's got like the power of air, and they can do things. And then there's one kid that's got the power of heart, and it just means that he's got courage. And it's like, that's the lamest fucking power. It is. You got a guy who can start fires and stuff, and a girl that can freeze things, or like, blow a mountain over with like the power of the wind. And then you got one kid that's like, I've got courage.
But even the cowardly lion doesn't have courage. He has to go and see the wizard for the courage. So shut up.
No, maybe we should do a separate, maybe like a little bonus conversation talking about their powers and who's got the most useful powers. Argue. If anyone wants to argue the case for Phoebe's power and say,
You can't.
and tell us how that's the best one, go ahead.
You can't. You won't be able to do that until you finish the series, because you don't know what happens.
Right, the way I'm looking at it, and we're going completely off topic now, we will get back to it very soon, is take everything that happens in Charmed away except for the powers that they've got, right? If you had a choice out of all three powers, Prue's, Piper, or Phoebe's, which would you have?
Pipers.
Exactly, Piper's, the power to freeze time. I think everyone would choose that.
I think the only reason why I don't want Phoebe's is because when I win the lottery, the numbers will disappear, and then that made me glad.
Well, you've got the thing of you can't use it to benefit yourself, for one thing. The second is, would you really like it's horrible when people die or have accidents and stuff, and you want to prevent it if you can. But can you imagine every single time you touch someone or brush past them or something, you learn they're going to die? Because then you'd be like, fuck's sake, guess I'm stopping that now. You put everything that you've got on.
Not everybody's a negative person like you.
Well, no, because if you've got that kind of mentality that Phoebe and that have, if you know something bad's going to happen to someone, you got to stop it. It's your duty to.
Yeah, but have you not noticed that Phoebe feels rewarded after she's saved this life?
Yeah, but I can't imagine being like on the way to like on holiday or something, and then I get a premonition that something bad's going to happen. So I'm like, fuck, I guess I'm putting that off. You know what I mean? This person I've never met before, I've got to save them, because you'd feel bad if you just let it happen.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, back to the episode.
The theme song.
I was going to do Angel's theme. I am the god of shut your mouth.
No, baby, it does not go like that.
I am the sun. I am the air. I am human, and I need to be loved, just like everybody else does. You see, I've already waited too long, and all my hope is gone.
Well done. So,
and then is there any more after that? No, there isn't. Got it.
so far.
Fucking aced it. They only took 9 episodes.
So we then go through the city, and we go to outside Bucklands, where Andy and Morris are talking to a guy that watched Matthew die about like
Just jumped out of an 11-story
and landed on his feet.
like a cat. Kit the cat confirmed.
The guy is like, yeah, he just jumped. It didn't phase him. He just got up and walked away. I've never seen anything like it. And he then walks off.
To the guy?
Yeah.
This is so fucking rude. Doesn't say bye or anything.
Just walks out.
Girl, bye.
Andy and Morris have a conversation about how high up it is.
And how high this guy must be to think he saw a guy jump out 11 stories.
No, they knew that happened. Shut up, you fool. See, this is why you shouldn't be checking your stocks while you're watching Charmed.
If I was this is why I can't be a cop. This is why I couldn't be a cop. So you know how I think it was episode 1, people falling. No, it wasn't. It was Dream Sorcerer. People falling off of buildings but ending up inside. They've got none of the damage. They're dead. Their bodies indicate they fell off a building. If I was a cop, I'd be like, this is the reverse of that. You got people actually falling off buildings and just getting up and walking off like nothing's happened.
They should have mentioned that.
Yeah.
So Morris and Andy are talking about the building, how high up it is, and Morris says we need to find out whose office it is. And Andy goes, I already knows. It's Prue's. We then go to the manor where Piper is talking excitedly about menu changes to Leo, who is currently under the sink, fixing the plumbing under the sink. And then he asks Piper to pass him a wrench.
A wrench extension. Wrench extender, I think it is.
And Piper goes to the toolbox and she's like, what the fuck am I looking for? I don't know what the fuck I'm looking for. And then Phoebe comes in and saves her and passes her the tool, who then passes it to Leo. Piper says that she's going to get some iced tea for Leo. Phoebe jumps up on the counter and
Like
the
a
iced
fucking-
tea falls down.
Like a fucking cat, she just like jumps on the worktop and knocks something off.
And then Piper freezes it. And she's like, Leo, and sees he's frozen, wafts her hand in the thing, and sees, it's like, you can see me. But he can't see her. He's frozen. And then she stands over Leo with a bucket. And Phoebe says, quick, have your wicked way with him.
I was not expecting her to say that.
And she's like, Kodiak moment.
Because Piper's like straddling Leo to stop this iced tea from landing on it.
Yeah.
They've got a thing about wasting food and drink, don't they?
Well, how else are you supposed to save the drink?
Put it back in the cup.
Yeah, but as soon as she touches it, it'll unfreeze.
Will they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's never been established.
I get the cereal because you could just like grab a bowl or another or something more.
You could do it with the iced tea. You could be like, because Leo's waiting for his iced tea now. You're going to catch it in a sick bucket. What the fuck? No. But
Do you know what they could have done?
what?
They could have pulled Leo out.
Leo's just like, Pac-Man the fucking iced tea.
Didn't get that then, did you? I went, ah.
Does he waste the iced tea?
And then Prue comes running in and it's like, you've got a problem. And Piper and Phoebe are pointing down. And she's like, oh, hi, Leo. Sisters, upstairs. The next scene is at Buckland's, where Andy and Morris are questioning Rex and Hannah. Hannah explains that they heard commotion inside, like a struggle. Then they heard the window smashing, and that's when they came running in, and Prue just ran out with no explanation. And he said, well, what did she say? And then it was like, she said nothing. She just ran off. And then you can see cops taking photos of the crime scene of the office. I don't know why they would take photos of the rest of the office.
Yeah.
It's not like there's blood or anything anywhere.
Maybe it's in case something was stolen because they don't know if he's grabbed something and legged it.
Yeah.
You notice it, like, you don't notice it straight away, but later when you're going around like a crime scene, you might go, I'm going to say that's, I had a necklace, or, they took my phone or wallet, or something like that. So maybe that's why.
They let Rex and Hannah go. They say, they're like, thank you, Mr. Buckland, for your time. We should be finished with your office soon. And he says, don't worry, I just want to make sure Prue's okay. And then when they leave, Morris says to Andy, we can get the captain to reassign his case. And Andy says, no, there's no point because it's not like we're dating anymore. There's no conflict of interest.
Andy's a lot kind of darker in this episode.
Yeah, he's switched.
He's a bit of I don't want to say he's a dick, he's doing his job, but he's...
No, he is. He's gone from too nice to too mean.
Yeah, he goes from sort of a, oh God, it's you again at this crime scene. Oh, what a coincidence, to like sort of, motherfucker, it's you again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking get you now. You know what I mean? I know you're doing something, which I said a few episodes ago he should have been like, that would be the natural cop.
But now it's too late. Now it just looks mean.
Now he just looks like he's got a vendetta against Prue. Especially what happens in a bit.
We then see Rex and Hannah in Rex's office talking about the locket and the warlock that has come out of the locket. So they are the first ones to say we've got a 16th century warlock on the loose.
So were they intending
for Prue to open the locket? Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So they wanted to know if she was a charmed one. And only a ancestor of the Melinda Warren tree can open the locket. So that's confirmed their suspicions that she's charmed. But now they've got a 16th century warlock on the loose. So they now have to go and get Matthew because Rex and Hannah want to use Matthew to get rid of the charmed ones. So it was all planned. And the next scene is the sisters are in the attic. Prue's filled him in about Matthew coming out of the locket, about what he said about Melinda Warren and wanting all of their powers.
Yeah.
And she explained that 1 minute he's there, the next minute he's across the room. It's really strange. The powers he's got, he's very powerful. And Phoebe was like, oh, can I have a look at the locket? So Prue passes Phoebe the locket, and Phoebe has a vision of the past where Melinda put Matthew into the locket. And she says, oh, I think I've just seen Melinda put him in the locket. And they was like, oh, you've just got a vision of the past. And she's like, well, they said that your powers can grow. And Phoebe went, but I thought I'd get to fly or something. So she's gutted that she sees the past and she can't fly.
Wow. I mean, we were talking about shitty powers.
Rude. Matthew bursts into an office where a man is on the phone, and you see Hallowell on the desk plate. The man goes, oh, I've got to go, and hangs up. And Matthew says, oh, are you Arnold Hallowell? And is like, yeah, who are you? And then he magically gets him in his chair and lifts him by the throat to the wall and says, where are your sisters? And he's like, I don't have any sisters, I'm an only child. He's like, put me down, otherwise I'll sue you. Big owl roll. Matthew breaks his neck and says, lawyers, they haven't changed. Partly they were suing people back in the 1600s when nobody had anything. You are sued for a chicken and an egg.
You got sued for crimes against fashion.
I didn't know what fashion was.
Well, there you go.
We go back to the sisters in the attic, and Piper's looking through the Book of Shadows, and they find Melinda in the Book of Shadows, and they also find Matthew. And it says that Melinda put Matthew into the locket so that he can feel the betrayal that she felt for eternity. And Prue was like, and I let him out early. And they said that Matthew's mission is to destroy the Warren line. The sisters then go down to the kitchen, and Leah goes, Prue, your workplace is on TV. And they're on about the man that jumped out the window. And they went, oh, look, there's Andy. Let me point out, this said live. And Phoebe went, oh, and Andy's at the door.
Happened fast. Who's the real warlock here?
I know, right?
He should have gone for his super speed power.
The warlock already has the super speed power. And Phoebe was like, oh, I'll get it. So Phoebe comes out of the house. The manor shuts the door. And she's like, oh, Andy, what are you doing here? And Andy's like, oh, I need to talk to Prue. She's like, oh, she's not here. She's at work. She's like, no, I've just come from there. Something's happened at the workplace. I need to talk to Prue. She's like, she's not here. She's like, well, there's a dead guy. Someone jumped out of her window at work. There's a dead lawyer down the road with the surname Hallowell. It's important that I talk to your sister. Where is she? And he went, where's your sister? And Phoebe went, where's your warrant? And she went back inside. And then all three sisters are now in the living room. Prue basically says, right, we've now got a warlock after us. And now the police are out to get me as well. And Phoebe says, well, nobody said that you led a boring life, Prue. But she does not. So they then talk about how they can get rid of Matthew. He's a powerful warlock. They don't know how to deal with him. And Phoebe suggests bring Melinda Warren back from the dead.
I didn't know that was a thing they could do.
Well, they don't bring her back from the dead, but yeah, they can bring her back for a bit and send her back. Bring her back, send her back. Phoebe actually says, there was like, oh, didn't know we could do that. She's like, yeah, if you're not too afraid of losing a little blood. So they're sat around ready to do a spell, and Phoebe's got a knife, and Pike says, what are you doing with that? And she goes, well, we need something to prick our finger with. She went, oh no, I'm not doing that. And she's like, oh, come on, it's like that time in camp My finger got infected. Piper is very not happy about having to cut a finger. And Phoebe was like, alright, I'll only hurt a little bit. And she pokes it. She goes, no, I'm lying. It hurts a lot. Fucking wimps. How are they going to get through childbirth if that fucking hurts them? Like, seriously.
Pain's a weird thing. It's pain that someone else does to you tends to hurt less than pain you've got to do to yourself. It's really weird.
Prue then cuts herself, and then she goes to hand it to Piper. Piper's like, don't hand me that knife. And the sisters are like, why? Just take the knife. And she goes, I'm not cutting myself. I don't like blood. And they're like, demons have blown up in our attic, literally disintegrated in front of us, and you're scared of a drop of blood. It's like, fine, you do it. So they poke her and they put the blood in the bowl. And they say, Melinda Warren, blood of our blood, our great, 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 great grandmother, we summon thee. And what did you say they sounded like? Mine.
What did they say?
Great.
It sounded like the seagulls from, is it Madagascar?
Finding Nemo. And then you see Melinda Warren dressed in 16th century clothes. And she says, blessed be. She's beautiful.
I don't like their dress. I don't like the 1600s dress.
I'm on about Melinda.
Oh, her herself.
The actress that plays Melinda is beautiful. So the next scene, Melinda and Phoebe are in Phoebe's room. I think it's Phoebe's room anyway. And Phoebe pulls down a zipper on a dress. And she says, you don't need to rip that beautiful dress just for it to fit me. And she goes, no, it's a zip. And she goes, oh, a very clever witch made this. So she puts the dress on and she's like, oh, what makes wool so soft? What sheep makes wool so soft? And Phoebe says, a synthetic one.
No, not sympathetic.
A synthetic.
A sympathetic sheep.
Synthetic sheep.
You know, when you get hurt and there's just a sheep, like, they're just turned and
No,
you on the head.
No, if I ever get hurt, I imagine myself in the black sheep scenario where it's killer sheep.
No, I'm a fan of the sympathetic sheep. You have a bad day at work. Talk to fucking Sean the sheep about it, and he's like, mate, I've been there. I understand. I get it completely. Let us know if you want sympathetic sheep merch.
Oh my God, yes. On it. It's a sympathetic sheep. It's soft as fuck, okay?
And he's there for you.
Yes. So Prue and Piper come in and they're like, oh, Melinda, you look beautiful. That dress suits you. And she also asks Phoebe if she's like, how long did it take you to make this? And she's like, no, I brought it. And she's like, you must be rich. And then Prue comes in and goes, no, she's got a credit card. They're all chatting in the bedroom, and then Leo comes up and they introduce Melinda as their cousin, because you can't introduce her as a great grandmother. They say hello to each other and they're like, oh, Leo's our handyman. And Melinda says to work with one's hands
requires a lot of skill.
And Leo
retaliates. He fucking fights her. He's just like, you fucking what? You dare talk about me that way? And he whips out the gap and he's just like, say it again.
Leo responds and they have this little moment about Shakespeare.
She recites Shakespeare. Obviously to us, an ancient playwright. To her, it's just the guy that lives down the road who's pretty good with his words.
Shakespeare was English.
Whatever.
She lives in America.
So, guy across the pond.
In English, yeah.
Do you think he was like the Eminem of his time? Like, we know about Eminem and he lives in America. It's just the other way around.
Well, you can just imagine Shakespeare rapping now.
Because you don't want to fuck with Shakespeare. Why? Because Shakespeare would fucking assault you. Just imagine Shakespeare being like, they won't let me rap about coke no more. Good heavens, how am I going to send this thing out?
The letter will do. Where's my flying pigeon?
I've just drank a fifth of ale. Do you dare me to drive this carriage?
Anyway, Piper and Prue look at them like, what the fuck? And Prue goes, okay then, let's go, shall we? We then go to Rex and Hannah. They have gone into a hardware store.
Yeah, looks like it.
And they're looking for, and they found Matthew, so they were obviously tracking him.
It looks like the shopkeeper's like in a sticky situation.
No, that's not a shopkeeper, that's Jesus. He looks like he was nailed to the...
He's like crucified with like a garden trowel, a fucking Black & Decker drill, and like a couple of forks.
I don't know why he didn't just use nails, and he's in a hardware store. He must have heard the Jesus story, surely.
Yeah, they would have.
Yeah.
Because for them it was only like 16 centuries ago.
And they're devils, so warlock are evil, so yeah, kill Jesus. Don't praise him, kill him. That's what the warlock said, not me.
I was going to say that bit of the podcast is going to get cropped with like no context.
Hannah and Rex basically tell Matthew that they can help him. And he's like, I want to find Melinda's children. Like, okay, mate, slow down. Can't eat them.
Hang on, he wants to find Melinda's children.
Yeah, that's what they call ancestors.
I was going to say, you're a quarter years too late, mate. You may be getting her children's children. If you want the children, you got to go back. Sorry.
Yeah. But so Rex is basically saying they can help him. They know about the Hallowells. They know their routine. They know where they live. And he's like, how did you find me? And he goes, well, you killed a lawyer down the road called Hallowell. This is the next one on the list called Hallowell. You're leaving a trail and that has to stop. And he's got like, Rex has got this really like commanding facial expression on him as well, I mean.
Yeah.
Like, evils. We then go back to the manor where they're sat in the dining room and Phoebe's putting the locker onto Melinda. And then they go and sit down and they're asking Melinda questions about why did you burn up the stake if you had your powers back? And Melinda explains that she had a baby daughter called Prudence, and she loved her too much for Prudence to be on the run and to have to deal with a life always scared. And she hoped once she died, a nice family would take her on and raise her, which obviously must have happened. And Phoebe asks why Warren women lose their mothers at an early age. And she says, I can't fix what happened in the past and I have no explanation for it all. We just have to take the future. And they then move on to about Matthew. And Prue explains that he can move from one place to another. And she's like, Belinda says, what, like in a blink of an eye? And she's like, yeah, she goes, that's called blinking. I mean, he must have copied the power from another witch. I'm not going to say anything about this yet, but when we get to future episodes, I'll air my grievance with this.
What with what? Blinking?
Yeah. You'll understand that right now, it's from a witch.
Right.
She explains that Matthew can copy powers of witches, and once he copies a power, they have no effect on him. She took back her powers, but she doesn't know what powers he stole from other witches before her.
It doesn't really showcase too many powers in this episode, does it?
No. But if he killed too many witches, Melinda Warren would have been suspicious of him anyway. And she also says that if he gets he's copied Prue's, and if he gets all three powers, it's going to be impossible to vanquish. And their job is to put him back into the lockup. So we then go back to Buckland. So this episode is very bit to and fro. It's very fast paced.
Yeah.
Compared to the other episodes.
We spoke about this while we were watching it, and we think it's because, or at least I think it's because there isn't really a B plot to this episode. Like there's
no background with Andy.
Yeah, like in the Dream Sorcerer episode, it was like the men going after Piper and Phoebe. There was in the Fourth Witch, it was Andy and Prue.
Yeah.
In this episode, all three of them seem to be only involved in one thing that's going on. So it follows all three of them doing separate things.
But for the same reason.
So for the same reason. So it's sort of, one second we're at the Booklands, then we're at Quake, then we're at home, then we're, at the crime scene, then we're in this hardware shop, and it is all over the place.
We go back to Bookland, and Matthew is half naked. He's just wearing a pair of jeans. He got a nice little body on him, don't you think, babe?
No, I thought he looked quite hungry. I think he needs a burger or something.
Are you jealous?
Well, no, I'm not out of hand. I have to put up with 1600s, so I can't be jealous.
But Hannah does not agree with you.
No.
Hannah is liking what she sees.
She's a warlock too, isn't she?
Yes. Hannah likes what she sees, but she's too flustered and won't look at him. And he says, if you like looking, then look. And she's like, oh, it's not that simple anymore. And he comes closer to her, and they're like face to face, like very close face to face. And he says, if it pleases you, why do you not do it? Why is this world that is so open, so closed off to even warlocks like you? And she goes, well, there's sexual harassment. She just names quite a few, like, legal reasons why they are no longer allowed to look or touch at half-naked men. He doesn't agree. He said he thinks that is bullshit. And if people like things, they should be able to have things, hopefully within reason. But sure, there's a bit of sexual tension there, I reckon.
Yeah.
Rex comes in and he is absolutely furious.
He's like, what the bloody hell are you doing?
And Hannah's like, you told me to help him get dressed, so I'm helping him. And he said, yeah, 10 minutes ago. And Matthew's like, well, she kept on telling me to try different things on. It's like, yeah, she just wants you to stroke me. Rex is not impressed. I think Rex has a little bit of jealousy there.
Yeah, it's clear.
And he says to Hannah that she needs to be focused on the mission because once they're finished, he's going back to where he came from.
He says this without Matthew being able to hear.
So he's jealous. We then go back to the manor where the sisters have took Melinda up to the attic where the Book of Shadows is. And Melinda can't believe how big the Book of Shadows has got. And the sisters are like, wasn't it always this big? She says, no, witches must have added to it along the way. So it's generations of Warren and Hallowell magic in one book.
Mm.
And she says, and in time, you guys will add to it too. No, she says, have you guys added to it? And Phoebe's like, oh no, we're really new to this shit. And she went, wait, we can just write spells too. Melinda's like, yeah, just give it time. Be patient. You can. Melinda finds this spell and Phoebe takes a notepad. And Phoebe says, well, I just have premonitions. And Melinda's like, no, you have you have visions of the past and the future. You can see things that nobody else can. You have a gift that can help others. And she's like, can you hear that point? My gift is magical. It is powerful. See, Mark? Don't shit on my gift, okay? Melinda goes to write the ingredients for the spell. And she goes, oh, no ink. And Prue's like, yeah, you don't need ink, just write. And she goes to write, and her face lights up like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's so cute. Like,
we do get to see quite a few scenes of her kind of like learning about the modern world, which is funny.
But she embraces it. Because she knows that she's from the past. She remembers everything. So she embraces it. And then she goes, oh, there's one in there for increasing patience. Phoebe says, oh, Grams must have used that a lot on us. And Prue says, not, we weren't always all wild, Phoebe. And Milana, who? Melinda. So, and Melinda then says they're all Warren traits. So you've got attitude, the high cheekbones, and she says they're all Warren traits. We then go back to Bucklands, and Rex and Hannah are showing Matthew some photographs, and he's saying, "Oh, how do you get these paintings so detailed?
You can't even feel the brush strokes."
You can't even feel the brush strokes."
So this is what I mean when I said earlier, he was just like, yeah, buildings, spine.
But it's when he looks closer at things that he's like, "Oh, hang on a minute."
Not fazed by like cars, the fact you could just walk into a shop and purchase like, tools instead of needing to forge them at a fucking.
He ain't purchased jack shit. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just killing the people that own it.
Well, yeah, but there's not like, nobody's having to grow their food in their front garden or anything like that. It's, you could just grab a cheese twist off a guy and eat it. You don't even need to pay anymore, apparently.
I think you're the bits when I see did that to you.
I go fucking mad. I love my cheese twists.
I'd buy them, right? That's my food. But I'd do that. I think you've gone for my food before when I'm like just sat there and I've gone to buy you and do you do it earlier? You went for my cheese balls, so I bit you. Mine. And then they say that this is Piper, this is Phoebe, Piper works at Quake, go there next, because that's where she'll be.
And Matthew's like, I know what Quake is. I'm hip. I'm down with the kids. That's right, he sounds like the Dream Sorcerer.
Jesus Christ. We then go to the manor. As we go to the manor, and the sisters and Melinda are now in the kitchen, and they're getting the ingredients and the utensils ready for a curse. Prue is looking out the window for Andy, and Piper says, "Stop it. Stop trying to. He's not coming. He wouldn't arrest you." And she's like, "Well, with the way that he's been acting, mate, I wouldn't be surprised if he does." And then she asks if they have all the ingredients. And they said they have most of them. There's some herbs that they need to get from Quake, but they also have the issue of requiring a snow owl feather. And Melinda's confused. She's like, "But they're everywhere." And they're like, "No, they're actually quite extinct." And she doesn't understand. So Phoebe tries to explain, and then she's like, "No, never mind, wrong story." But she says that like you can find them in the zoos, in cages, and she's like, "What? What the hell are you talking about? Why are animals in cages?" So yeah, she's having a little culture shock of what it's like to be in the 20th century. Well, it was the 19th century then, wasn't it? 1998?
No,
Why not?
it was the 20th century.
Why?
Because that's the time period it was in.
Why?
We're in the 21st century now.
Why? But that makes no sense. You laughed at me at this when I said the first century. Yeah, that's because the 16th century, to me, that's because it's 1600s. So it's the 16th century. So why is the 1990s not the 1900s?
It's the 1900s. But
So it's the 19th century.
no, it's not.
Why? When does it skip a century?
No, because what are the years 0 to 100?
What?
Year 0 to year 100, what is that?
A century.
Century 1. Then the year 100 to 200 is what? Second century. Year 200 to 300 is what?
But I've asked you what 1692 is, and you said the 17th century.
So year
I don't mean that's the 17th century.
No, Carmel. The year 100 to 200 is the second century. So what is the year 1900 to 2000 or 2000? The 20th century.
But that makes no sense though, because like I've literally just explained, how is it 1692 is the 16th century, but 1990...
It's not. That would be the 17th century.
I asked you at the beginning what it was, and you said the 16th century. We've said the 16th century through the whole of this because that's what you told me.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, that's the way it works.
Bullshit. Okay,
It's kind of like the whole you can't have a first anniversary thing.
But you can. That's why people celebrate first birthdays and first anniversaries. It's because it's a year after the event happened.
Mm.
Fucking mind-boggling, this shit is. Who made up these rules?
Mm.
Fucking daft bastards. That's it. Jesus Christ. Anyways, where were we? What were we on about?
Charmed, I think.
Snow Owls.
That was it.
Prue said that she will go and get the feather, and Piper can go and get the herbs for the quake. Piper said that that she's supposed to be on the night shift, so Phoebe said that she'll go with Piper just in case she gets stuck at Quake. And Melinda is like, you can't leave. Matthew's after you. And they're like, yeah, we'll be fine. It's all right. The next scene is Matthew's telling Hannah that he's waited over 300 years for revenge.
So you could say he's already waited too long, and now his hope is gone.
No. Because you see, for him, evil cannot be loved.
Just like everybody else is.
No, they can't.
So shut your mouth.
Phoebe heads to the kitchen in Quake, and Piper gets stopped by a waitress who says, oh, has he found you? And she's like, who? And she goes, oh, there was an Englishman looking for you. With a guy with an English accent looking for you. Has he found you? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then we see Matthew in the kitchen with Phoebe, and he's like, she's trying to hit him with a rolling pin. Oh, that's going to do any damage. So he obviously knows that she is not getting any active powers. And he says that he will get what's his. And he forces her to have a premonition. And he sees the vision of Melinda and Matt in the manor. And he lets go of Phoebe. He says, oh, good, you've brought Melinda back. You can kill her too. And then storms off. And Piper comes into the kitchen, asks Phoebe if she's okay. And Phoebe was like, oh, he's copied my power. He knows Melinda's back. We then go back to the manor, and Prue is telling Melinda that she's got to go to the museum to get a feather and to stay in the manor. So Melinda's looking around the manor. She turns on the blender and shits herself because the blender like makes the noise.
Yeah.
And then turns the blender off. And then the phone starts ringing, and she goes up to it, and she's like clueless on how to answer it. And then you hear Phoebe say, oh, Prue, pick up. Melinda, Prue. And you hear Melinda go, Phoebe, I'm here, Phoebe, I'm here. And she's like, you guys have got to be careful. Matthew's just took my power. He knows Melinda's back. He must be on the way to the manor. And then she presses a button that turns the machine off. And the line goes dead. So Prue and Piper and Phoebe panic and rush off. We then go to the manor where Matthew is trying to kick down the door, and he breaks him, which I think is kind of rude. And I'll tell you why it's rude in a minute. He tells Melinda that he will get rid of the ancestor line, and he will destroy them all. He'll kill them all. And she's like, don't touch them. And he grabs her by the neck. And when
in every episode, someone gets grabbed by the neck. Have you noticed?
Yeah, this warlock's got a thing for it because he's done it to every guy, whether it's by his own hand or by his powers. It's grabbed someone by the neck.
Mm.
He sees a vision of Melinda and the sisters cursing him back into the locket, and he says to Melinda that he's not going to let them curse him again. And she says, well, it doesn't matter, he can kill me because I've already told him the curse. He goes, you're lying. And she was like, am I? And then he says, where are they? Where's the girl gone for the feather? And she sends him to the zoo. And before he leaves, he kisses her. Like, it's not a passionate kiss, it's a very threatening kind of kiss. And he storms out. So I was listening to House of Halliwell. If you guys haven't listened to it, you got to listen to it. It's Drew, who plays Chris. Mark doesn't know who that is yet. BK, who plays Leo, and Holly, who plays Piper. And they don't analyze the episodes like me and Mark are doing. They talk about behind the scenes of the episode. So it's really cool. And on this episode, because I listened to it today, they have the actress who plays Melinda Warren on the show. So every week they have a different guest.
That's cool.
Like the fourth sister, they had Danielle who played Aviva. So yeah, if you guys haven't listened to it, go and listen to it. It's actually really cool. But there was on about, was that kiss actually scripted? And how it made it more menacing. Because she had the tear down, like she looked scared and had the tear down her cheek. And then he walked off. So he kind of played off her emotions because she loved him at one point.
Mm.
But yeah, go and listen to it, guys. It's really cool. I've told Mark he needs to listen to it. And he's on a ban. He can only listen to it like after the episodes
we've listened to.
we watched, yeah. But yeah, the reason why I find it rude that Matthew broke down the door is because he blinked out.
Yes, it could have just fucking come in and like not had to break anything. Maybe he needs to see what's on the other side in order to be able to.
I was thinking that just in case you knock into something, but surely you can sense it when you blink. But yeah, that was a little bit like, how dare you break the door when you can just blink out? We then see Hannah storming into Rex's office, and Rex says, "Oh, you've lost him," and she says, "Stay out of my mind." So he obviously has an ability to read minds, and he said, "What happened?" And Hannah said, "Oh, I don't know. He was okay, like until we got to Quake, and then something happened, and he just took off." And he was like, "Well, why didn't you follow him?" And she's like, "Why don't you follow him?" And Rex says, "I haven't got the ability. I haven't mastered that ability yet." And then he's like, "You need to go find him. You need to find him now." So Hannah then storms back out. We then go to Phoebe and Piper storming into the manor to make sure that Prue and Melinda are okay. And they find Melinda like really frightened on the settee. And they're like, "What happened?" And she was like, "Oh, Matthew like paid us a visit. He knows that we're trying to do the curse. But don't worry, I sent him to the zoo. He thinks Prue's gone to the zoo." And she asks if they managed to get the herbs. And they're like, "Yeah." And they said, "Good, because all we need now is the feather." We then see Prue sneaking it out of the museum. And then Andy grabs her and is like,
You're in a
"We need to talk."
Oh, okay.
We then go back to Buckland's where Hannah goes flying through the door. And the reason why she went flying through the door is because Matthew threw her through the door. And he's absolutely fuming. And Rex is saying, "You need to stay on track, but you need to obtain all the powers." And he says, I've copied the power of premonition. And they brought Melinda Warren back. And Hannah's like, "They've done what?" And Rex is like, "It doesn't matter. It's too important. You need to go and obtain the last power." And there was like, Prue's going to need to go back to the manor. Matthew says, "I've already tried to convince them. I've already threatened them, and they won't give up the power." And then Rex takes a gun out of the desk and says, "Try again," and hands him the gun.
It just produces the gun. You got people using magical powers and stuff, and it's just like, hey, you ever just tried shooting them? That might work.
We then go to Andy's car, and Andy and Prue are sat inside, and Andy says, "Why have you took the feather?" And she's like, "I've got to go." And he's like, "You do realise how like much trouble you're in? This is very serious. You're breaking an entry and then you're evading arrest." And she's like, "How I am evading arrest? You haven't arrested me." He goes, "Don't make this any worse for yourself." And she's like, "Look, I really need to go." And she snatches the feather out of his hand and he goes to stop her, so she sets the airbag off and she gets out and goes. We then go back to the manor and the Piper and Phoebe and Melinda in the kitchen, and they're starting to put the herbs into a bag, a little pouch, and they're saying that they once they get the feather, they can go look for Matthew, but Matthew then blinks into the kitchen. So you can fucking blink into the house not knowing what's there. What a dick. Fucking stalker much. Jesus Christ. Matthew basically says that they need to freeze him. He will get the last power. And they're like, no, he won't. So he then magically brings Piper to him and then holds a gun to Piper. He's like, freeze time. And she's like, no, screw it. And he says, if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your sister. And he points the gun at Phoebe. And Melinda steps in the way and says, no. And then Prue comes through the back door. So yeah, Prue's always the one that saves the day. Prue comes through the back door, throws the gun out of his hand with the powers, then pushes a chair against him and knocks him out flying with the powers, and hands the feather to Melinda, who then hands it to Phoebe, who then puts it in the bag, and they drop the bag into the little cauldron.
The other one on hold.
Yeah, sure. And then Melinda Warren says, outside of time, outside of gain, no only sorrow, no only pain. And Matthew's gone again inside the locket. We then go to Brooklyn, where Hannah is telling Rex that she followed Matthew to the manor and he's failed, he's gone. They've trapped him back into the locket. And Rex says, what are we going to do? He's not going to be happy about this. So who? Who's not going to be happy about it?
They've obviously got a boss.
And Hannah says, well, we can tell him about the Hallowells and that we've got a plan. He goes, that will only buy us time. We need something concrete. So yeah, it sounds like they're working for somebody else. We then go to the police station where Andy is telling Morris that he's going to go to the judge and get a warrant for the rest. And Morris is saying, for what? For stealing the feather. He's going to laugh you out of court. And then he's going to question how Prue got away from you, which, by the way, how did she get away from you? And he's like, don't want to talk about it. And he says, listen to me, you need to drop it, you need to leave it, otherwise you're going to look like otherwise you're going to embarrass yourself.
Fair enough.
Yeah. We then go back to the manor, and Leo comes through the door and Piper runs down the stairs. And she's like, oh, Leo, what are you doing here? He says, oh, I thought I'd make a start on the downstairs bathroom. And she's like, oh, we're just sending our cousin off. Can you come back tomorrow? It's like, yeah, sure. And then she says, would you like to go out with me? And Leo's like, yeah, call me. Call me, maybe. So we then go back to the sisters and Melinda, and they're sat round the table. And Melinda goes to pass Phoebe the clothes back that she wore. And Phoebe says, oh, no, I can't take them back. And Melinda says, why not? And Phoebe says, because if I take them back, it means that you're actually going. Do you really have to go? And Melinda says, it's not my time to be here. It's yours and your sister's time. And Piper says, we don't mind sharing. And Melinda says that she's proud of she's met the charmed ones, and she's proud of their strength and their grace. And Phoebe takes Melinda's hand and puts it on a chest where her heart is, and says, what do you see? And Melinda closes her eyes and she's like, oh my God, I see many more generations of my beautiful daughters. My dreams are fulfilled. So she has that premonition, and she thanks Phoebe and thanks the sisters. And then they say, Melinda Warren, blood of our blood, we release you. And Melinda said, before she disappears, says, blessed be my daughters, I love you. And then they're really sad to see her go. And Prue says, it's okay, we can always bring her back. And that's the end of the episode. What did you think of the episode?
There's a lot of time not time travel, but like people coming from different time periods in the last few episodes, isn't there?
Yeah. It won't be the last either.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that they're starting to talk a bit more about their past as well.
About where they originate from.
Yeah, like the idea of kind of what their family were like, what they've come from with the whole Wicca thing. I think the bit that they said about the Book of Shadows being a lot bigger now was interesting as well. That's some good world building. So I guess Piper is seeing Leo now as well,
I'll have to wait and see.
officially, without being under the influence of spells.
Well, he wasn't on. See, I think this is the thing. He was never under the influence of a spell. He never fell under a spell. They just kissed because they both told the truth.
Mm.
So I was listening to House of Hallowell, and they mentioned when Brian got the role of Leo, he had a wife and a baby, and he watched the episode of The Truth Is Out There and It Hurts with his wife, and he knew the kiss was coming, so he stepped out because he was like, oh, a reaction. And she came out after him and went, what the fuck was that? And I don't think that marriage lasted longer. She was too jealous of the connection he had with Holly.
Oh, wow.
Even though they've never dated,
Yeah.
they were just really good friends. She got jealous of the chemistry between them on set.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Never did I.
I'll have to give that podcast a listen.
So what was your favourite bit of the episode?
It's no one bit. I like any time that the Melinda and Matthew were asking about the modern things like the photograph, not having
Cute, innit?
not having any brush strokes, the zip. She's her thinking that
With the synthetic sheep.
yeah, with the sympathetic Shaun the sheep, or the zip is like ripping
The dress.
yeah, stealing the cheese twist.
Yeah. I thought that'd be your worst moment of the show. What they rated you.
I think it's interesting as well that Andy has become a bit of a dick.
From all the things that she's done, he was willing to arrest her over a fucking feather.
I think he's angry at her.
Yeah. Because again, he mentions, why can't you just trust me with the truth?
Which is weird because didn't they end quite mutually? Like the last time we saw them.
But they've obviously been stewing because they haven't seen each other.
But I'm pretty sure the last time we saw them like talk to each other was outside Andy's apartment.
But then Prue said goodbye, and the way she said it was a forever goodbye.
Yeah.
And I don't think that sat well with Andy. Okay, Mr. Cooper, what is this next week's prediction?
Well, I can see the episode title.
So next week is season 1, episode 10, Wicca Envy.
So I think this is going to be going back to the powers that they've got. I think this is going to turn out that Phoebe is jealous because they kind of hinted at it in this episode.
Okay.
I think Phoebe's going to be envious of the fact that her power is clairvoyance and she can't freeze time or make things move or fly, or hers is the hot, going back to Captain Planet, hers is the heart power of, and everybody else has cool like ice powers and fire. And
I still like Phoebe's powers though.
oh yeah, but she's kind of the Black Widow of the Avengers. It's like you've got Hulk, you've got these superpowered people.
And then you've got a Russian spy.
And then you've got Kick Girl. That's, what I mean?
She was an assassin.
Yeah, but it's kind of out of all three of the powers that you could have fun with, and don't forget she's quite a fun person. Can't really have fun with clairvoyance, can you? Whereas freezing time, you can do funny shit. Make it stuff.
Just wait until you see what Pipe gets up to with freezing time.
Or like
Just on the next episode.
Being able to like move stuff can be fun as well. So I wonder if it's that, either that or it's somebody outside of the three of them that's jealous that they're witches, or maybe it has something to do with Buckland. Maybe them being jealous of their power or envious of their powers. I don't know.
Well, Mr. Cooper, we will have to see whether your vision fails you again next time. If you enjoyed listening to our episode, you can find Karma's a Witch, Bad Karma, and Karma's a Killer Game on Spotify,
Apple Podcasts,
Amazon Music. Click, comment, and subscribe
on YouTube.
at Bad Karma Network. And
make sure you follow us on the Facebook page where we post polls, updates, clips, and photos.
And you can also follow us on TikTok, where you see me being a twat. Thanks for listening, guys.
And we hope to see you next time.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.